Welcome to the quick hitter version of Buckets, Boards, and Blocks. Along with my co-host King McClure, I'm Monica McNutt. This week, our featured conversation is with Christine Williamson of ESPN, who talks very candidly about her journey, her look, and where she is and what it says about the industry right now.
Where did the bald girl originate?
So this is so crazy. Originally, I did not want it wasn't like necessarily a part of my brand. I actually shaved my head my third year, which was my red short sophomore year in college. And I had been cutting my hair shorter and shorter. And like Monica, you know this, like it's hard as an athlete to like keep up with your hair. Like it's just like a lot. You always sweating your hair out and all that kind of stuff. So I had been cutting my hair shorter and shorter, but still spending like way too much money to keep my hair looking normal. And then would be so sad because I would get like one good day out of like my fresh do and then like have practice the next day. I played volleyball in college. So it was a lot. So I just kept cutting my hair shorter and shorter, and then actually ended up getting surgery on my left leg because I had a stress fracture that wasn't healing. And so when I got surgery, I had one side of my head shaved when people like really, I think it was like the first person like really did it. And I was like, ooh, that's dope. Let me shave one side of my head. And when I got surgery, I was pretty much like confined to the bed for a minute. So I was like, I look a hot mess. Like I just have this one side of my hair growing out. So then I was like, Mom, can you shave the rest of my head? Because my mom's hair is short like this too. And she was like, okay. So she cut the whole hair, and that's just me being bald. But the reason it became part of like what I started being my brand is because when I went to Clemson, South Carolina, I knew that the Clemson fans and like the middle of nowhere Clemson people were not going to understand why this woman was walking around with no hair. And so actually what happened was Scott Van Pelt came to Clemson's campus to do an interview with Taj Boyd and Sammy Watkins. And the segment he was doing for SportsCenter was called Bald Man on Campus. And I remember being like, that's Scott Van Pelt's entire brand in that moment. And I was like, wait a second, like in order to like address the elephant in the room, which is like the bald woman walking around interviewing student athletes. And like, I'm sure fans would have been like, excuse me, why is this girl bald? Which people still do. So I just decided to be like, oh, I'm going to be bald girl on campus at Clemson. Became bald girl on campus at Clemson. And then when I went to the Broncos, it was like Broncos bald girl. And then I was just like, you know what? Like, let's just make this a whole thing and just call it the bald girl because like I'm hopping all over the place at this point. So then I just made it a part of my brand, and it worked because like I said, I mean, I feel like now people are used to it, but like when I was at Clemson, like I just knew that Clemson fans were not going to understand, like would be like, okay, cool, this is a great interview, but why are you bald? You know what I'm saying? So I just decided to make it part of my brand, and it worked out. So that's kind of how it came to be.
Man, I gotta say, I've only seen two women in this world be able to pull off the bald fade, and that's you and Amber Rose.
I heard you say that you just decided to own it.
Oh yeah, so I just decided to own it and just basically address the elephant in the room that I knew that most people would probably be like, why in the world are you bald? Which, like I said, people still do. Like literally, we did a show last week. Yeah, we do a Heisman show once a week starting 2 weeks ago. That started 2 weeks ago. And it goes until December 12th when the Heisman ceremony is. And looking at the comments, like people are like, why is this girl bald? Why did you shave your head? People are like, and I feel bad sometimes because like people that are trying to defend me will be like, you don't know, she might be sick. And I'm like, I'm not sick, actually. Thanks for the defense, but I'm literally fine. So it's always so awkward because like, I'm just like, oh no, well, thank you for coming to my defense. But like, I'm just like living my life as a bald person. But yeah, some people are very rude about my short hair. But like I said, I own it, and it just became part of my brand because I feel like for some people that are genuinely like, wait, why are you bald? I can just be like, because I'm bald. That's just who I am. So
yeah. I know we talked about this, how like now people are like, oh, your energy, your look. Like the energy has always been there, but I'm so tickled now when people say, we love your look. Because girl, you know it was not always like that.
I had people literally, like when I first came out of college, there were people like, you should wear a wig. There were people like, we love you as a human, but we don't think that our audience would be able to connect with you or understand or identify with you. Like, people were straight up like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And it actually caused, like, I remember when I was fresh out of undergrad, like, people that I knew I was significantly more talented than were getting gigs at very small market. Like, I wasn't even acting, like, it's not like I was like, please take me to the best market in the world. Like, I was not looking for that. Like, super small markets were like giving jobs to my friends who I love, but that I was like, no, like, why am I not getting these gigs? And then my mom worked in TV when I was younger. So I talked to a few people that like worked at local stations that she had worked with, like, and they were like, you know, you can choose to change how you look because that could probably land you a gig a little quicker. But they said, it doesn't matter if every single person is like, oh my gosh, we love your look and we want to hire you. You just need one person to say, we love your look and we want to hire you, because that one person is all that matters. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So I just kept holding on to hope that like at least one person would be like, we love this. And it did take a while. And I think it was also just time, because I don't think that like maybe 5 years ago, somebody at ESPN would necessarily be like, oh my gosh, yes, bald person. But I think just because of how the world has shifted as a whole, it's caused people to be like, oh wait, look, we should think that like people that don't have hair are normal. But like, girl, for a minute, like, people were like, just put a wig on, like, who cares? And I'd be like, I do, because I don't wear a wig on a regular basis. So no, I'm not altering how I look.
I totally feel you. Bruce just put in the chat that you have some trademark potential. Absolutely, honey. I can remember, I can't remember the year, but I was working in local TV in DC, and the University of Maryland, there was a MABJ, which was the Maryland chapter of Association of Black Journalists on campus. They had this whole panel, and it was called Natural, like natural or unbelievable, right? And the context was which way to go with your look. And so it was myself, a local weather woman in the area who had been here forever, is a little bit older, and then like a digital journalist. And I remember saying to the kids, like, you guys, if we don't push this envelope, it never gets changed, right?
Yeah.
And my thing has always been, when I lay my head down at night or when I look in the mirror at the end of my day, like, I need to be good with me. And while this job is a big part of who we are and what we do, honey, this is not the end all be all. Like, for me, the short hair is about fitness. It's about convenience. It's what I like and what makes me feel good. So I'm so glad to see that the crayon box is starting to have more colors than just hues of yellow.
No,
you know
100%, 100%. Like, it was, and it's also like, I mean, like I said, there's still people in the comments that are like, why are you bald? You know what I'm saying? Or that like joke and say, who is this man? And I'm like, bruh, you know good and well that I'm not a man. Okay. So like, it's not even a joke at this point. Ha ha ha. But like, I think just the world in general, but like you said, talking to the younger people, like, it's very encouraging I've had a lot of young women be like, yo, you literally are just bald. Like, that's how your hair is. Like, that's how you want your hair to be. And you're able to do that. I remember even when I was working at the Big 12, one of the Texas women's basketball players pulled me aside and was like, sis, like, you have tattoos and you just wear your hair however you want. And like, you're really doing this. And I was like, I mean, thank goodness, because if not, I wouldn't be doing it, but I'd still be looking how I am. I mean, it just happened to work out. But yeah, so I feel like I'm most excited and happy about the fact that I didn't decide to change something about how I looked because I wanted to be in this industry.
Agreed.
And instead the industry changed to accept how I looked, because
Agreed.
I feel like I feel the most beautiful, the most confident, the most me when I'm completely bald. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm not trying, like, every once in a while, like, just to be funny, I'll throw a wig on, but like most of the time by the end of the night it comes off. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, if I can be myself fully, and this is when I feel most confident, like when I'm on a show, when I get a fresh cut, like, I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the most, if I'm not able to feel the greatest as how I look, because people are looking at me, then that's a problem. So
yeah. I keep telling everybody, like, the fresh cut energy is not gender specific, because girl, a fresh cut be having you like, okay, I'm out here checking for my own version of a King McClure.
when I tell you, and it's so funny because like I went to Italy a couple years ago with my parents and brought my clippers with me, but like the conversion from like, I don't know how it works, but basically I couldn't plug my daggum clippers in Italy, okay?
Yeah.
And because it was like taking the power out in all the hotel rooms, I was like, what is this? Okay, so King, you probably know something about that because I literally don't, for playing overseas. But anyways, so I was like, hold up, I can't cut my hair. My parents were wanting to take pictures. I was like, no, my hair is so long. They're like, you look normal. But I'm like, I want a fresh baldy, honey, at all times. Like, I'm trying to have my hair like as low as it possibly can be. So yeah, that fresh cut energy, it's real. It's real.
Indeed.
Man, I'm inspired listening to y'all talk. But seriously though, like on a real note, you know, when I went in for my interview last year, I had people tell me, cut your hair, like have the professional look, like clean cut, you know, do all that, and I listened because I thought that that's what people wanted to see. But listening to, you know, you and Monica talk about your experiences, I'm rocking this. I mean, it look bad right now, but I'm rocking it this year, and I'm not cutting my hair because of what people deem professional. Like it's me, you know?
I think it's definitely changing too, because like, and this might just be because like I work specifically mostly in the digital space. Like anything that I do on linear, I'm filling in for right now. But like, we have people that are yatted. Like they got, like, I don't know if you know who Jason Fitz is, but he has sleeves all the way down to his wrists. And like at first, like he was doing a lot of stuff for outside the lines. And they were like, you need to wear a shirt that's buttoned all the way up, and you need to wear sleeves all the way down to your wrist so that you're covering up your tattoos. But he said that by the end of that, like he still does OTL stuff now for SportsCenter. And now they don't care if he has his tattoos exposed anymore. Like he rolls his shirts out. He still wears a button-up shirt, but he like rolls his shirts up to his elbows now. So like I feel like people are starting to kind of understand that there's been a little bit of a shift in what people are deeming as like professional. And then also like I think especially in the media space, people are more open to people just looking how they look because they understand that there's people in their audience that kind of connect more with that. You know what I'm saying? So like if they're trying to reach an audience that looks like Jason Fitz, that's tatted from their neck to their toes, like they should probably have Jason Fitz on there as he is in his entirety. You know what I'm saying? And like we said, like if you're trying to have like young Black women or like people that have natural hair really understand and be able to look at TV or look at digital and say, hey, that's like what I look like, and I guess I can be in that position as I currently am and not have to change myself, then like that's what they need to do. They need to put people on television that look like how we look. So I think they're definitely starting to accept it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, even with the way I dress on television, like when I dress, you know, everybody, typical analyst is suit and tie.
Yeah.
I didn't wear one tie this whole entire year. I told Carol and them, I'm just not a tie person. Like I'm just more of a t-shirt or a mock neck underneath like a nice jacket, like not like this, but like, you know, just something fresh, something fly. I'm 24 years old. I was 23 at the time. I'm not gonna wear a suit and tie. That's like, above my age. No, that's who I am. And they accepted me, and they actually, they were super cool about it. Never once did I ever get a text saying, hey, it's not appropriate, you shouldn't wear that. So I agree with you. I think that they're starting to shift and see a culture shift just because they want to be able to relate to different people. If you would like to hear more from the ball girl, Christine Williamson, check out the full version of Buckets, Boards, and Blocks presented by Pure Hoops Media. This is also on YouTube, so you can go to the Pure Hoops Media YouTube channel to check it out, please.